the final thing we will be looking at in section 1.9, which means it's the final thing we're going to be looking at in the entire chapter, chapter 1, is this quick application problem. So I would go ahead and pause the video, see what you can do with this problem, and then I'll explain it. All right, welcome back. Well, if you did leave, I'm not sure if anyone left or not, but anyway. So we're looking at a situation where, you have a car that was sold for this amount, all right, but it was marked up. I mean, if you're a dealer and get a car from a wholesaler, you're not going to sell it at the same price you purchased it from the wholesaler. It doesn't make any sense. That's not how you make revenue and ultimately make a profit, right? So we got to figure out what to do in this situation. Well, one thing we know is this, all right? So the selling price divided by the wholesale price minus 1 is going to be greater than or equal to the markup. All right, so the selling price was $11,200. Think about this. You're going to sell it for more than the wholesale price. All right, so this value's got to be less than $11,200. So the quotient, okay, when you divide what the car was sold for versus the wholesale price of the car, that's going to give you 1 point something, right? It's going to give you 1 point something, and that really means something over 100%, right? This 1 means 100%. 100% of what? 100% of the selling price, okay? And the difference there, say this is like 1.4. So, 140% more, whatever, right? Then this would be, the markup would be 0.4 or 40%. If it was 30% more, like it is in this question, then this would have to divide into 1.3. All right, 1.3 minus 1 is 0.3. Therefore, the markup would be 30%. There's a lot of different ways to look at this. Maybe not a lot, but there's a couple different ways to look at this. This is one of those ways. This is how your textbook looks at it. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up. Let's let X be equal to the wholesale cost of the car. You're going to see in the end, this problem is really quick and painless, but this is really the theory behind what you're ultimately going to do in the end. So if you let X be equal to the wholesale cost of the car, then you can use this equation based upon what I just told you. There's the selling price. We don't know the wholesale price. We know that the numerator has to be greater than the denominator, okay, because you're marking it up. We're going to take away 1. This is really representative of 100%, equal or greater than or equal to 30% or 0.3 as a decimal. So can you solve this? Can you solve this inequality? Or are we okay with solving something like this? If I multiplied both sides of this equation by X, I would get this. If I multiplied both sides of this, I should say inequality, by X, you get this. I just multiplied both sides of that inequality by X. Now, if I were to add an X to both sides, I would get this. I would get 11,200 is greater than or equal to 1.3x. All right. So I tell you what, I'm seeing your, here, let me write that down again. All right, so here's where we are in the problem, okay? Now at this point, we do what? We have to divide both sides by 1.3 to get x alone. All right, now be careful with your final answer. But so if you use your calculator now and divide this out, what do you get? You get this. Okay, so the actual cost, wholesale cost of this car, all right. Let me rewrite this real quick. The actual wholesale price of the car, if you're going to get at least a 30% markup, if you want to get at least a 30% markup, has to be at a minimum, or I should say, a maximum of this. Okay, so the maximum cost of this of this car, the wholesale cost of this car would be $8,615.38. That's the maximum wholesale price. Okay. Now, looking back on this, wow, let's look at this again. After we understand the theory behind what we did, couldn't we just take this price then and divide by what? Take this and divide by 1.3? Isn't that what we did? That's exactly what we did. So really, all you had to do was take 11,200 and divide it by 1.3, and you have the correct answer. All right, again, any questions or concerns, please let me know. If you're able to attend the SI, please attend SI. Otherwise, stay healthy. If you're not healthy, get well soon. Take care. Bye-bye now.